I think something that I always remember for Dad, it didn't matter what time of the night he got home. He could get home 1 o'clock in the morning from whatever he was doing. He would still come into my bedroom and wake me up and say goodnight. And then he'd want to have a conversation. And then tell me about his photos or show me stuff. I don't think he walked into any person's house without the old Kodak photos. Can't imagine it would have been cheap. Getting all his film developed all the time because he's just always taking photos. And Grandma would always get cranky and he'd be like, "Oh, it's my kid, I'm saying goodnight to her." He always would say goodnight to me and wake me up and give me a kiss before bed every single night. Howdy, Uncle Annie.
Hello, how are you? Where you been?
A bit wet.
No,
Good
beautiful
to see
weather.
you. It's been a while.
The ducks love it. You get frozen ducks up there.
Well, she's green.
The old place has come up all right. Since your dad had it.
It's still standing. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. And the paintwork, that Matt and Hector and that done, it's still there, it hasn't fell off. It's still there.
The outhouse still works.
Yeah, got that. I built that in Colac and brought it in and framed it and borrowed a generator for the neighbours up the road.
Oh, look, it's a gnome in the garden.
Colin the other day, he said our
Yeah.
Pa was training him for the bike tracks for the Olympic Games he was
The
supposed to go.
Munich.
Munich Games.
Yeah.
He was supposed to ride in. And then he got called up to go up in the army.
Trained for Vietnam, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the other guys that were with him, they got to go to Munich. But he didn't. Outshot all his sergeants and everything. And then a big competition come up and the sergeant drew rank on him. And stopped him from going. Because the sergeant won the comp, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had about 6 weeks to go and he could have collected all the army benefits and that. And he left. He had the choice of coming home, so he did.
It sounds like Dad.
I don't think he wanted to shoot people.
I don't think that was in his nature.
God, you can talk a lot.
Learnt from the bloody best. Had to share a room with you. And welcome to the shack.
Shack.
To the shack.
Around the steps so you don't fall down there.
Oh, okay then. Roses before the thorn.
It's the bathroom.
Hi, Auntie
there.
Jenny. Oh, I better give Auntie Jenny a hug too. Oh. Good to see you, Auntie Jen. It's been a while. Yeah.
Kitchen.
Kitchen.
Lounge room.
Checking into the orphanage.
Orphanage.
Is he now orphanage?
Yes.
Yep. So what's Dad's original plan? He was going to live up here and gallery down.
Yeah, this was all going to part gallery at the time.
Yeah.
It was down there. We sort of put it more into sleeping quarters.
Yeah, yeah.
Sleep in.
Housing, yeah.
Because his house was going to be out there.
Yeah.
A big double-storey place.
He's a man of patience.
Yeah, he had the patience.
Yes.
Come on, hurry up. I'm getting there, just wait, I won't be long.
But I guess for me as a kid, we didn't have iPads back then. So you just had to amuse yourself. So luckily most of the scenic places he went, there was always a bit of bush or a bit of sand dunes So I was forever running up and down sand dunes and rolling back down them while he took a photo of a sunset or 12 apostles or down bush somewhere down Chapel Vale at a river or climbing a mountain somewhere. Had to start somewhere.
Yeah, well, your mum gave him that. She found it on a plane at Ansett, old Reg Ansett.
That's when she cleaned them.
And she didn't hand this in, and that she gave it to him.
So Doug, the photographer.
His photo, he made enough just to cover his costs.
Yeah, to keep him going, and
that was all he ever
because I
did.
can't imagine it would have been cheap.
No,
Getting all his film developed all the time.
Yeah.
So it'll be 29 years this November. 1st of November 1995, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
He was out walking.
With Rob. Yeah, and that day he just sort of wandered along and turned around, and yeah, he was just laying on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, so the guy from the hotel come over, he was the next ambulance driver. Done CPR and that on him, and so it was a massive heart attack. And just said, no, nothing you can do about it. And all the arrangements had to be done and whatever, and because I ended up hiring the marquee that was sitting out the front of that church. And the granny said, oh, you won't need him. Well, he doesn't know that many people. And when that thing filled up, she said, I didn't know he knew this. And I said, yeah, he spoke to everybody.
Counted the book the other day, and there was, I think, 320 people that actually signed the book. Do I have any regrets, or would Dad have regrets? I don't think I would say it's a regret. I think I would word it as it's just something that you missed out on. That I wish maybe is that he knew that he would have grandchildren, and the fact that I think he would have loved that he become a grandfather. Such a big family, his legacy, and to know that, like, you know, he's got a grandson he's got two grandkids, but one of them's deeply into photography, and although your dad's into photography too, it's sort of a bit of a family thing that I think he would have encouraged you, helped guide you as well, and been there along your journey. And been a part of it. I think you would have learnt from each other, and it's something that you could have had together. Where I'm, on the other hand, grew up with my grandparents, lived in my grandparents' house with my dad, with you, shared a room with everyone, but then to not have that to give to your own kids. The life of a crazy photographer. So this is a picture of Dad taken at Johanna Beach. Yep, so that's how I picture him. Yeah, 20. You think you get your shit together 28 years later, but no. This is So for me, this is the end photo, and what I picture is just waiting for the sun to go down, capture. Just another sunset. doing what he loved. That's how I picture him, because that's what he would have done. It's what he loved to do, was just sit there and watch the light, watch the sunset, watch the waves. And I guess in a way it's his happy place. So if he's happy, I'm happy.